Okay, last one. Ortho number 8. And with the last of anything, something a little bit more challenging, because you might find that there's something you may not be thinking about now that might need to be included with this drawing. Let's see what you can do. So, first things first, front view. Top view, we should see 3 faces. Here's a curved face, a flat face, and then there's another curved face, but keep in mind R stands for radius. This curve is a little bit larger than this curve here, which has a radius of 1. Okay, a little bit shallower, a little bit deeper on these corners. Now, looking at your right side view, we see a face here. We can see the curved face. The question is, what about that face? Is there something we can do to show something we can't see? The question is what view may or may we not need hidden lines? So, moving on. Let me go ahead and draw the front view first, then we'll let you finish it up. Okay? Keep something in mind. When you see me draw this line here should be taller. This line here should be a little bit shorter. Okay? So that you can actually see that the corners here are different. Very important. If not, you're not going to be able to figure this one out. So, once again, make this line a little bit taller, make this line a little bit shorter when you're making these corners. Okay, here we go. So once again, we're going to be working in our last space. This is going to be ortho number 8. And we're going to start with that front view. So as I mentioned earlier, I'm going to make this line a little bit taller. I'm going to come over. And just so I get this right, I'm going to make this line a little bit shorter. So just pause for a moment. Make sure that this one's taller. Make sure this one's a little bit shorter. I kind of left it about a space here, just to make sure I get this right. You can draw this a lot of different ways. One way that I'm going to draw this is I'm actually going to draw a line here, kind of this floating line. And that's going to kind of help me draw this curve here. But then we have this much kind of deeper curve here. Okay? Not the best, but it makes sense to me. Okay? Once again, corners, horizontal lines, vertical lines. You know the routine by now. Let's see if you can figure this one out. So we're going to go ahead, have your teacher pause the video. Let's go ahead and see if you can figure out, especially, possibly, a hidden line. Okay, here we go. So let's start from front to top. So we should have a projection line here. Should have one here. A third here. And a fourth here. So we're looking for corners and obviously vertical lines. Now this is where things get interesting. One off the top. One off the bottom. See, there's a corner here. But if you drew these lines the way I asked you to, you should have a 4th projection line. You got it. A 4th projection line coming off of this corner here. Okay, if it was drawn the way I asked you to draw it. Moving on. Let's take a look at that top view. We know where to start. We know where to stop. We're going to come down, over, back up again. And we've said this before, slopes, curves, in a top view perspective, they're going to look flat. So I'm referencing these corners here, this corner here, or this edge, where you have these curves, they look flat from a top view perspective. Okay, no hidden lines needed in that view. Now, let's take a look at our last and final view. We're going to go up, we're going to go over, and now I'm going to look at these last 2 projection lines. One of these will be hidden. I can see from this right side view perspective, I can see this area. So as I look at this corner, which is referenced by this line here, this is a solid object line. But wait, we have one last object line. If I'm looking at this object from a right side view perspective, I can see this, but I can't see what's happening on the back side here. I need to reference this with, you got it, a hidden line. This is where you're going to have your hidden line. Okay? And there it is. All right? If you got that, congratulations. That was not easy. Once again, if you drew these two lines correctly, as they are on the drawing, this would have all come together. You are done. Great job. I'll see you all next week. Take care.